there are three core problems with higher education in general. Well, I mean education in general, but I mean especially higher education because that's where most of the student debt is.
Right.
One, not all of it is publicly funded. Roughly about a fifth of college is actually publicly funded. I mean, you think about it. You as a citizen pay taxes. You give up roughly 20 to 30% of your wealth on average.
If you're,
if you're doing
all right.
Yeah, and if you're doing extremely all right, you don't pay jack shit. But that's a topic for another time.
That's a weird thing too. Yeah, but yeah.
But you pay all this money into taxes so that you can have a good infrastructure for your children. That's the whole point of taxes in general.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that money goes to roads, bridges. Well, it's supposed to go to roads, bridges, education, healthcare, all that type of good stuff. And we still have students that have to pay tuition.
Yeah.
But also have to pay all the fees, all the books, and everything that goes with that, which I get. I get that college is something that you pay for as well. There are only 3 industries, though, in the United States that have grown over 300% since the mid-1980s. Higher education being number 1.
Yep.
The healthcare system that we currently have.
Hello, Martin Shkreli.
And college textbooks. Everything else has relatively stayed within the same amount of growth. Those 3 particular instances, though, have skyrocketed in terms of cost. And there are 3 reasons to that. One, we've placed an overemphasis on a need of students to have college degrees.
Yeah.
And by college degrees, I mean undergraduate.
I saw just an awful, and these go viral every once in a while, but it's like a screenshot of a job listing, and it was like $12 an hour, master's degree preferred. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, there's no one within their right mind that's going to take that.
Right.
And
actually,
well, I mean,
I've felt pretty desperate with my master's degree, and I got scammed by an insurance company. That's still a story for later. I won't tell it on the podcast.
But it's kind of one of those things where we've oversaturated the market with people who are qualified to do things that A, there aren't a ton of qualifications for, and B, there isn't nearly as much demand for as what there used to be.
Right.
And as a result, we've severely neglected in our public school system and in our private school system an emphasis on trade schools, an emphasis on vocational schools like Votex, schools like Francis Settle, like Chisholm Trail Technology Center, or whatever the one in South OKC is, North Moore, whatever it's called.
Right.
One that's stuff that's in West Oklahoma. I mean, that's stuff that we don't think about, but it's stuff that is so critical, especially to infrastructure jobs.
Right.
Another thing is...
And there's so many of those.
Exactly. And there's so few jobs that actually require a collegiate degree. I mean, if you want to go and get a higher education, that's something that you should do. That's something that, by all means, go and do that. But go and do about it a smart way. I mean, had I had the chance to do college over again, A, I would have strongly reconsidered whether I wanted to go to college.
Yeah. College isn't for everyone. And
B, like, it's kind of one of those things where it's just so unnecessary at times. Like, I've gone... This is my 5th year at UCO. Had I had the chance to do it all over again, if I had no choice but to go to college, I would have spent 2 years at OCCC or at Redlands or a community college where I knew that credits were going to be cheaper, and I didn't have the pressure of doing them the way that they are done here.
Yeah.
And then I would have come here and only done major work.
Yeah.
Then it would have kept my costs down.
Right.
Another big cause that people don't seem to think about is that you have to go to some big university to get a college degree, and you don't.
Right. Well, education's a big racket. So it's like, oh, are you going to an actual university, whatever that means? Like, should UCO be considered a university? I don't know. I mean, I'm glad it is because it looks a little more impressive on my resume. But that's the point. That's why anyone goes to a university over a college, because it looks better on your resume.
Yeah, I mean, but essentially the information that you learn is the same.
Yes.
I mean, and that's the whole point of transferring credits in, and the whole point of going to get your like associates or undergraduate credits or general credits or whatever they're calling. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we in essence, we have placed this emphasis again. We've placed this emphasis that everyone has to go to college, and we place this emphasis on everyone has to go to specific colleges. And I think that's created part of a problem.
Yeah.
And the third and final thing that I'm gonna say, and just kindly close this up a little bit, is that we haven't been smart about it. I mean, obviously, colleges now, especially private colleges and private universities, are for-profit institutions.
Yeah.
They're there to make money. But for a public school, especially a public school like, say, like the University of Texas or the University of Arkansas or somewhere like that, somewhere where you have to go where, say, you don't want to stay within Oklahoma and you want to go to another state, tuition automatically rises by 5 times.
Yeah.
It's a 500% increase just because you're an out-of-state student.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
Yeah.
Like it's a racket. I mean, I'm a person that thinks if you're gonna do a social form of healthcare, social form of education, then you have to start promoting vocational schools in there so that you can then bring the number of students who are trying to attend actual universities down, so that A, they require less funding, and B, we can start filling in those infrastructure jobs, those trade jobs, and start promoting our vocational schools. I mean, vocational schools don't get nearly enough credit for doing what they do, and they do exactly what they do best. They teach people how to do exactly what they want to do in an exact way to do it.
Yeah.
And if that's what people want to do for the rest of their life, go for it.
Yeah. Well, I think and so I'll make some counterpoints, but I agree with you anyways. And it's that, so I'm more just like stating what is the status quo. And so like right now, like I mentioned before we were recording, we have this sort of display model of education. And I don't know if someone did a TED Talk about it, but like we don't go to school to learn the things in our major. We go to school to show that we did the work that we learned.
Yeah.
And so we're showing that, hey, look, this is an actual accredited thing that shows people that I've done the work necessary. If I wanted to get like, so I'm a philosophy hobbyist, as I've been saying a lot. If I wanted to get a degree in philosophy, well, no, I just don't. I don't want to get a degree in philosophy. I want the information. I don't need to show anyone that I have a degree in philosophy because I don't care. I'm not looking to teach philosophy. Like I like it. That's why I'm interested in it. And so it's like I listen to Philosophize This, a podcast that like goes from the beginning of like philosophical writings and discussions and like goes all the way through history and goes in depth with every single one.
Yeah.
Philosophize This, great podcast. But like, and that podcast is basically like an associate's degree in philosophy. But I mean, I can't put that on my resume. I can't go, oh, I listened to all of Philosophize This. Well, like that's not going to tell people that I know about philosophy.
Yeah,
what is going to tell people is a bachelor's degree in philosophy.
And I'm not saying that getting a degree is bad. I'm not saying that getting a vocational certificate is bad. In fact, if anything, I want that to happen. But we've placed so much emphasis on one specific aspect of our education. And on top of that, we've made education to where it's very much a my way or the highway road, meaning that we have a set curriculum, we have a set number of skills that we have to learn. And the biggest problem that I have with that comes down to general studies. Yeah. You've literally spent 12 to 14 years of your life in elementary school only for you to pay a university or college or even a VOTEC in some instances to learn the exact same thing that you just spent over a decade learning.
Yeah. But it depends what your scores and stuff were coming out of high school.
Yeah,
So it's like
and that should play a contributing factor too. But the overwhelming majority of students will never see the benefit of that.
Sometimes, yes, probably.
It's good to take those classes, but for me, humanities was. I've taken humanities 3 different times because honestly, I hate it. It's the dumbest thing. Humanities is supposed to be a study of culture, and it turns into just an overglorified art class.
Well, it's an art history class, yeah, basically.
I mean, that's not what humanities is supposed to be, A. And B, it's a waste of time for somebody who's studying strategic communications like myself, or someone who's trying to study some form of like forensic science or education. Well, I mean, education, it depends on what type of education, but like someone who is in a science or media degree, you're really going to have them sit through and waste their time in an arts class?
Right.
It's just A, inefficient, and B, you're gouging students for money at that point.
What it is that the man, has decided that in order to be considered a college graduate, a bachelor, if you will, you have to have at least some understanding of culture and math and science. And so it's like, it's not that, like, I get why it is that way. It's like, for you to be an upstanding citizen that has achieved this powerful status of bachelor, then yeah, you need to know a little bit of science, a little bit of math, a little bit of culture, a little bit of everything.
Why go through primary school?
Right. Sure. And but like, it really does depend where you went to high school or where you went to middle school, because like we went to PC North. That's like an upper middle class high school.
Yeah.
And we actually had like AP classes that are like college prep classes, and they actually encourage students to I don't know about you, but I took a whole bunch of pre-AP and AP classes.
I mean, I took a few of them. A lot of the time I also stuck within regular classes simply because in a lot of ways, AP classes just don't matter, regardless if you take the test or not. Colleges are going to say, well, we still want you to take this course because it's our college and that's what we want you to do. So regardless of if you've taken the AP course or have taken the AP test, we just aren't going to accept it. That's basically what OCU did for my music theory test. Was because before I was actually decided to go to UCO, I was still open. I was looking at OSU and I was looking at OCU. I went and had my music tryout at OCU, and I made it and everything like that. And then I went to the admissions office because I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to take a look at this. And I told them that I'd taken the AP music theory test and that I had passed it and I had all the credentials. And they said, yeah, we don't care. It wasn't exactly like that, but it be like that.
Yeah. Well, and it depends on some of those, because I took AP language or English lang, and that one did count. Also took AP European history, and that took care of like 2 classes at once.
Yeah.
So like I did save like, I don't know, like 8 hours of class.
It's very hit or miss, and it's very unreliable.
Right.
I took AP government, and I managed to get through AP government, and I passed the class.
Sure.
I passed the test. But like at the same time, it's just kind of one of those things where you sit back and you look and you're like, wow, why did I have to do this? And then when you're forced to take it in college again, you're like, wow, I wasted $200 on a test that basically ended up being worthless to me.
Well, it was like $50, but
well, it just depends on some of the costs of the tests.
Right.
But I don't believe if you're in a public school, you should pay for a test.
Right.
But that's me.
Anyways, yes. But anyways, assuming that, but that's the thing is like, all right, so $50 to a upper middle class family, it's like, all right, sure, like
Well,
rich father sneezes that. But
I think we're using the term upper middle class very loosely at this point.
for
The school is technically upper middle class. We definitely are not upper middle class over
you,
here.
you and me aren't no, but like I'm saying the school. So
Yeah.
I'm speaking for the proverbial PC North like ideal student, which is like their parents are doctors or real estate agents or whatever, and like sure, I'll sneeze out a few $100 for you to get some college courses, but like
Yeah.
so. But if you went to middle school in like Western Heights or something, then yeah, your stuff isn't going to be like they weren't preparing people for that stuff there. Or even if they had those AP classes, like you hand like, oh hey, I should take this test, it'll save me money in college. It's like, well, one, we're not sure if you are going to college because we can't afford that, but also like it's hard enough for us to like throw down $50 this week because like we're taking care of other stuff. And that was hard for me. That's why I didn't take the second AP test, AP Lit, because like I didn't want to ask my parents for the money to take that test because I am poor. So
I know the feeling.
yeah, and so like that different schools in different areas are going to prepare their students differently. And if you go to school in a like middle city or inner city like poor community, then that school isn't going to place a whole lot of value in like, oh, you should prepare for college. They're going to be like, look, you're going to be a janitor anyways, so like don't worry about it.
It's just the way that we model college, the way that we model education is just so wrong. I mean, and we don't understand how wrong it is to a certain extent. I mean, we've grown up with the way that we've done education, the way that we've educated our kids for so long now that we don't even see the flaws in our education system until we've already been through it. And then when we try and go and do something, it gets shot down as like some sort of big, massive liberal socialist agenda. And that's not the case at all. We're just saying, hey, we need a safety net. We need to change the way that we're doing things because it is not doing us any justice.
Yeah.
And it's costing us more.
Right.
It just the lengths that people go to live to a stupid ideology are just beyond me.
Right. And again, I'm just enjoying being the opposite side, even though I agree with you. There is still the people that decided to do stupid majors.
Yep.
And you know what? You decided to like go hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to study
tuba performance. We'll use that
to
one.
study tuba performance. When
no offense, tuba people, but
complete offense, tuba people. No, complete offense, performance people. Unless you are practicing literally 8 hours a day,
why are you in a performance degree?
Do a performance degree.
Like, it's just one of those things where you're sitting there and you're like, oh, hey, I'm a performance major. And you're like, oh, hey, guess what? You can't do anything with that other than, like, teach people how to perform. I mean, that's essentially it. And even then, you're going to have to take extra classes to be an educator. And it's just like...
Well, not even that. You have to assume that you're going to continue on to your master's and then your doctorate, but you also have to still be practicing 6 to 8 hours every day. You have to audition all the time. If you make it into a symphony, you do have to be like working that hard, but it's also the fact that like you're not the only one that's working this hard towards being a performer, and so everyone is gunning for that job. So you have to be the best of the best of the best. So unless you are determined to be the best of the best of the best, don't get a performance degree.
It's the equivalent. A performance degree, in my opinion, just looking at it and thinking about it just now, as I'm thinking, it's the equivalent of having a college degree in playing football. Like, that's exactly what it is. I mean, yeah, cool. You can play football. You can play on a team. Pardon my language, but big fucking deal. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it makes no sense. It's like saying that you're gonna go do chemotherapy because you're tired of shaving your head. I mean, it makes that little sense.
Well, I mean, you're also just gonna like
Sorry, chemo people.
fuck your skull up by playing football. So I think we mentioned this last time.
Yeah.
Nobody should be playing football anyways. Yay, Adam ruins everything. Go watch that episode about sports. Well, actually, there was a whole episode about football. So go watch that and then have football be ruined. But other than that, like, yeah, there's some things that you shouldn't get a degree for. I think that if you want to be and there's some really good teachers and really good like majors that you can be taking, but you don't actually need the degree for. It's like, I want to be a writer. I'm going to be an English major. It's like, cool. You will get all of the like great information to be a good writer if you are like an English major, but also you don't need the degree to say that your writing is good, because if you just read all the things that you would have done in those classes in that major, talk to all the people and ask for that wisdom, then you will get all of that information, and you don't need the degree for it because it'll show if you write a book.
See, I mean, and this is honestly, if you're going to go for a writing degree now, you need to go for something like journalism or media production or something like that, because
I was highly implying fiction, but
but I mean, that's something that that's something right there that people are actually A, needing, and B, it still allows you to write in that creative style, especially TV script writing. Holy crap,
yeah.
TV script writing. That's basically writing a novel for TV.
Right, but that's also fiction.
Yeah. But at the same time, there's an actual practicality to that, because not only in learning that skill in a media writing degree or in a journalism degree, you also learn it in other different fields that you can then network with other people in different fields. My dad always used to say that college is not about the grades that you make, it's about the hands that you shake. And dear God, I wish I learned that sooner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that's something that we don't take nearly enough. I mean, yeah, go to college, get a degree, but at the same time, you also have to interact with people. You have to get to know people.
Right. And so here's the thing. No one is stopping you from walking into a classroom at any university.
Yep.
Just go to your local university. Just walk in, sit in the classroom. The teacher might like pull you aside after the class and be like, "Who are you? I don't see you on my roll."
Just be like, "Hey, I'm Mark from the 5th floor. I'm just here chilling."
Yeah, and it's like you can probably talk to the teachers and be like, "Yeah, I'm not looking to get a degree. I just like to learn." And more often than not, they're going to be like, "Cool."
I mean,
or you can like there's an official way of doing it by like signing up to be like an observer or whatever, or like whatever it is. But it's like it doesn't matter. Like if the teachers are cool, which given, I don't know, 80% of the teachers that I've had, I'd say 80%. I'd say most teachers that I've had in college would be pretty cool with that. They'd be like, "Oh, you just want to learn this stuff? Cool.
Park it."
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just the way that we do education is wrong. I mean, I and this is part of the problem that I have personally, is I see things in a very big picture way. Is I can see beginning, middle, end, content, details, tell it like right then and there. And people don't operate like that. People just don't operate like that at all. I mean, you'll run into those people who are like, "Hey, I'm a visionary. I can see things." And then you run into people like the everyday people who are just like, "Man, I'm just trying to get through every day. Like, why are you bothering me about shit about tomorrow?" And you're just like, "Because I'm trying to plan things for the next 3 weeks." It's aggravating.
Right. But like, so I mean, if you don't want to go, hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt, you could just like, if you want to learn philosophy, if you want to learn English, if you want to learn humanities, since it's so like education focused, you probably need the degree just to like teach humanities.
Is such a niche degree.
It's like the only ways that you can really get jobs in humanities, I know this because my fiance was a humanities major. She has a degree in humanities, and so it's like you want to be like a museum curator, you do probably need that degree. Or if you want to be any sort of like curator, like teacher, stuff like that, you do kind of need the degree. But if it's like philosophy or English or like creative writing, stuff like that, you don't really need the degree. Just do the thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, for music composition, I didn't need the thing. Like, I just needed someone to like push me to compose.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, like, and I'm not going to say that like getting the degree is a waste of my time, because I do want to get a doctorate, and that I do want to like have teaching at university as a backup plan. So like, yeah, I do need the degree for that. But honestly, like, I don't need a degree to just write music. I was going to do this shit anyways. Yep. So, I don't know. Like, and I said it before, college isn't for everyone. And
no,
if you're struggling a whole lot, maybe just don't go to college. Just like get a job, work your way up.
Well,
like tons of people do that.
I mean, yeah. And it's important to figure out just exactly what you want to do. I mean, people are going to say that college is about a learning experience. You go to college so that you can learn what you want to do. That's a load of horse shit. You live in the world to realize what you want to do. I mean, just my particular interests. I want to continue to make podcasts. I want to be somewhat active politically, and I really want to invest in alternative energy, because I don't want to die within the next 40 years because some ass gasket decided it was a bright idea to pump oil out of the ground and shoot it in the air and make it to where I can't breathe.
Yeah,
that's just me.
And to be completely candid, you don't need a degree for that.
No, I don't. I don't. I really don't. But I mean, the network.
It does help. Yeah, the networking does help.
The network. I'm in college because of the networking. A.
Yeah.
And B, because I would have never met the people that I would have met had I not gone.
Yeah.
And I would have never talked to the professors that I have spoken to and who I've gotten to know very, very well. And I would have never been pushed to think in such a radical way. I would have just stuck to the same way of thinking that we've been so used to. I mean, that's why I'm such a big proponent of the esports program here. I mean, the esports program is something that, for the most part, no one else is doing in the state. We're going to be the first university to have a degree in video games, people. And by video games, I mean like video games and media and how you like report. It's like sports video games. It's like sports reporting, but it's esports reporting. You know what I mean,
right? But that's the thing. It's like it's cool, but also the industry came about in an organic way. They're like,
yes,
obviously Ninja didn't decide to go to school for streaming Fortnite. He just streams Fortnite.
And that's something about creative content that people don't understand, is that when you're creating content, you're not doing it because it's a job. And you're doing it because you actually like doing it. That's something that big people don't understand. That's something that publishers in the video game world understand, is that you don't put a set timetable on this, because it's not. I mean, you can, and it can work out very well. But I mean, I'm just going to use Rockstar as an example. Rockstar, for those of you who don't know, makes the Grand Theft Auto games. They've made the Red Dead Redemption games. And they've dabbled in production of some stuff, and they mainly produce their own games, if I'm correct.
What about those energy drinks? I'm kidding. They don't. That's a different company. Go ahead.
But when you're looking at it versus something like Activision or EA, it takes 5 or 6 years for Rockstar to introduce a new game.
Yeah.
I mean, GTA 5 came out when? 2010, 2011, something like that?
Something like that.
And we just got Red Dead Redemption 2 8 years later. No, not quite 8, 7 years, something like that. 8 or 7, can't remember. It's one of those things. It's like when you're paying attention to detail and when you're building something so incredibly vast and so incredibly breathtaking story-wise and visually. I mean, the game looks incredible.
Yeah.
But story-wise, the game is one of the best stories that I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And especially from someone who also plays a ton of Call of Duty, who plays a ton of Battlefield, who plays Battlefront 2 religiously, despite the shitstorm that happened on its launch. It's one of those things that you can definitely tell the differences when people, A, take their time to produce quality content, and B, apply to a business timetable simply because a publisher is telling them to do so.
Counterpoint. One, well, a few counterpoints. One, Rockstar has infinite money.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, they have infinite money.
Yeah.
They GTA 5 is like, I think it's like the highest selling piece of media ever.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's the biggest.
Take that, the Bible. Like, it's
well, I mean, to be fair, in digital media it does. I don't know how it translates into paper, but when you're looking at that type of thing, and when you're looking at details, and when you're looking at quality, I mean, GTA 5 had to come from somewhere. It had to start somewhere. I mean, as much as I hate to say this about like games like Call of Duty and games like Battlefield, it's just the same damn game recycled.
Right. But
different with slightly different features and the same story.
Right. But that first point is just to say they have infinite money.
Yeah.
They managed to sell the most possible. It's still like selling higher on NPD charts than like games that are coming out this year.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, hey, here's a Super Mario Maker. That's a best-selling game, and also on that list is GTA 5 still.
Yeah, I mean, GTA 5 is going to be up there for forever.
Yes,
nothing's going to take it down. Not even Overwatch. But like, how did it? And it's just like, yeah, they've got infinite money, but how did they get that infinite money? Because they took the time to build something that A, people wanted, and people knew that they could build a game that was going to be good. And B, they took the time to invest and let the team just do their thing. Right. And that's what made it the game that it is now.
Counterpoint 2, those people were working 80-hour work weeks. They were hell overworked. There were there's no video game union. So, there's no one to defend the workers' rights in the video games industry.
And again, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Sure, they made these extremely detailed and polished games, but it's also because they were overworked pretty much to death.
I mean, that's something that's come out under Activision Blizzard about Overwatch, just the pressure on Overwatch, the pressure on Fortnite developers. I mean, I can't imagine that. I mean, and also, look at the pressure on... I would take a look at Activision in general, but also take a look at EA. Take a look at all these big titles. They're like, okay, we're making a business out of this. You're here to make us money.
Right.
And I don't like bashing the video game industry. I love the video game industry. But at the same time, it's also in its startup, and you have to start taking a look at that stuff objectively.
Unionize.
Please do. Dear God. Well, why do people hate unions?
Because... So in the same way that earlier you were bashing education makes the universities make us take all these gen ed classes that I don't really care about because they don't specifically pertain to me. In that same way, unions tend to set boundaries that are way across the board to cover all the bases. But if you're for example, I guess in the film industry, because they do have unions because they've been around for freaking ever now. It's like, hey, we have rules about how much screen time and filming time a baby can have. So, and it's like, why? That is so specific. It's like, yeah, because we've dealt with the situation
because of the Wizard of Oz. If you ever wonder why the film industry is the way that it is, just look at the making of the Wizard of Oz, and you're just going to be like, dear God, now I know why there's unions.
Yeah, and
the dog was played. That's something that I. This isn't something that's funny. It's just something that's just so laughable now. If you've ever seen or read the making of the Wizard of Oz or something like that, do so. I mean, there is some crazy shit that happened making the movie The Wizard of Oz. To get basically to get the Wicked Witch of the West green. I mean, they obviously painted her, but the paint at the time contained lead-based oils.
Oh,
it dyed the actress's skin green for a year.
Cool.
The Tin Man was allergic to the paint that he wore, and the suit was incredibly hot. The lions, the Cowardly Lion, his suit was made of real lion fur.
That's fucked up.
They yes, but they filmed in Hollywood in the heat.
Yeah.
You like every night, like the book even. I mean, there's a book on it now, but like,
right.
They had to hire people to dry out the suit because it would get so soaked in sweat.
Right.
The dog that played Toto got paid more than the workers who played the Munchkins.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like like the 40s, 30s.
Even still, but I mean, it just goes to show how young multimedia industries, and it shows the progress that we've made.
Might have been 50s actually. Never mind.
No, it was before Gone with the Wind.
40s.
Yeah, late 30s, early 40s, something like that. But it goes to show the progress that we've made specifically in that industry and how we can use that industry's model to help build a new industry and build it better.
Right. But like, okay, so there's that, and there's like the really bad cases, but I'm saying like there's lots of cases where unions will get in the way of like really practical things. But it's because of other instances that have caused the need for that rule. But like if you're this lowly filmmaker or something, you're just trying to do a film, and it's like, oh, the union won't let you do this, and it's like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, I'm just trying to like do this thing, and the union's like, no, you can't do that, and it's like, that's why people don't like unions, because the unions try and uphold the rules like all the way across the board, which makes sense, but it's like, all right, this is a little annoying, and so the capitalists have taken that sentiment and just driven it to an extreme to where you're just supposed to not like unions now and not know why.
Well, it's this whole concept of like free enterprise, and somehow we're gonna build. I know I totally asked like, why do people hate unions? But I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of obvious. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, not only is that the mentality, because I totally agree with you on that. It's this sense of, oh well, we want free enterprise, and free enterprise translates to us as unregulated business.
Yes.
That we should just be able to do whatever we want, whenever we want it. Everyone else can just sit back and deal with it.
Right.
And that's not the case. I mean, the whole point...
And that's why there are nets outside of the Apple like sweatshops, because the conditions are so bad that the employees are hurling themselves out of the building to try and kill themselves.
That's... I mean, you talk about famous instances in New York. I mean, that's an instance that's happened in United States history where an employer who blocked off the fire exits with more working desks so that he can have people work in there. Fire broke out, happened. And all those people died. I mean, they burnt to death, and there were people who were jumping out of the windows trying to save themselves from the flames. And it's just like, that's why that's why the
union exists. And that's why the fire marshal's like, no, you can't have stuff in front of the fire exit. It's like, but we never use that. But you will.
Eventually, something will happen. It's well, I mean, it also goes into... I lost my train of thought. Train, come back to me. I mean, that's the whole point of government in general. Government isn't there to control the people. And that's something that people don't understand, is that government's not there to control the people, and at the same time, it's not there to be a business. Government is a massive social program. Government is essentially... I mean, it's essentially a social program, and I don't know how else to describe that. I mean, you are born into the society, and...
Insert Joker memes.
Yeah.
Continue, sorry.
All I have are negative thoughts. But... you were born into the society under a set preconceived notion and rules that were built by a society before you. And we still honor those rules. We still honor those laws. However, those laws have to change, and those laws have to adapt so that it can be so that it can be prepared for the modern society, and so that it can also keep people safe, and that so it can keep the society from destroying itself. I mean, that's how Rome fell. That's how Nazi Germany became strong. I mean, I hate drawing that comparison, but when you look at the first 2 years of Adolf Hitler, and when you look at the first 2 years of dictatorships, and basically any dictator is what I'm getting. If you look at the first 2 years, it didn't just happen overnight.
No.
And this is why people are drawing that same sense today, especially in America.
Yes.
And especially in America now. I'm not going to use the T word because I know people are going to be like,
the president.
That guy. It's that you're starting to see a lot of these same similarities happening. You're starting to see, especially on the campaign trail, this big push for economic and infrastructure development, this big push for a big, strong military. We're going to make ourselves strong or great again, or whatever we're calling it. Something like that. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, we're also feeding this sense of like national pride that you should be proud to be this. You are a traitor if you are not proud to be this.
Yeah. And then the media becomes an enemy, and then you manipulate what the media does with propaganda, and you sway, populism to benefit you as a dictator.
This is what got Nazi Germany, and it's what got the Soviet Union at the same time. Is it's just you have literally decades of time where the society has just been neglected because we've lived to this hierarchy and to this this specific set of rules that applied to the previous society or the previous generation, and that previous generation just refuses to let go, and it refuses to allow for things to change, and it refuses to adapt. And eventually people get desperate, people get angry, they feel distrustful about the government, they feel distrustful about the people who are in the government, and eventually they start looking to radical leaders. They start looking to people who are going to promise swift, decisive, complete 180 change. That's why people drew to Donald Trump in the 2016 election. I said the word. That's why people are drawing to candidates like Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
And are slowly but surely turning away from centrists like Joe Biden and from people like myself, honestly. Which I think is kind of...
Fuck Joe Biden. Continue.
hey! Lay off, okay? I'm a Joe Biden supporter to some extent. Like,
fuck Joe Biden.
I get the sentiment behind that. I do. And there's some very questionable things on that act, on his person as well. And I'm not going to defend Joe Biden. Joe Biden can defend himself on that.
No, he can't, because he's doing a really bad job at it.
He's probably going to get the nomination. So,
and then Donald Trump will get another term.
No, he won't.
If Joe Biden is the nominee,
we are going to
Donald Trump
100% have a Democratic president. I know that you're looking at that from the party and from your point of view, but at the same time, you like having a centrist really completely throws the Republican base into shambles because they live to an ideology.
Right. But that's the thing. Joe Biden is not the right centrist.
I agree to a certain extent. At the end of the day, I'm going to support whoever's on the Democratic ticket.
Have I mentioned Andrew Yang 12 times yet? Because I should.
Yeah, you have.
All right. Well,
I agree with some of his stuff, but at the same time, some of it's just like, it's an interesting way to approach it, but it's also the wrong way to approach it.
Elaborate.
Like universal base income. There should be, And I know that that's one of the big selling points of his campaign, and I understand that's like, oh, well, if we're going to meet the rising costs of this, then we need to have universal base income. That's what we ought to do with our tax money. That's not what we need to do with our tax money, first off. We need to be taking that tax money and investing in social services and investing in things that are going to make the society, A, better, and B, bring costs down. Because think about it.
What do social services do?
healthcare, education, infrastructure. Those are the big three.
Okay.
Now there are other things that are included in that, including the realm of
Disability and
disability, immigration,
retirement.
women's healthcare, retirement.
Mhm.
But and I firmly believe this, when you invest in social services, not only do you see the cost that businesses have to spend go down, because when the government's taking care of these things, they don't have to go spend money on health insurance programs. They don't have to go and spend money on this, that, or the other, because the government's taking care of this. Now, all of a sudden, I can reinvest that money into my business, or even then, I don't have to reinvest it at all. And I could just either go to charity with it, or if I wanted to reinvest it and put part of it in the economy, I could do that. Or if I wanted to reinvest it and put part of it in my business, I could do that. I mean, it frees up so much more money when we have social services set up and properly funded.
Okay. Two things.
Yeah.
One, Andrew Yang is for universal healthcare.
I know.
Okay.
I understand that.
Two, the things that the rest of the social services are just things in place that end up giving people money through a secondhand way. So let's go with
that's because of bad tax policy.
Right. But
and the 2016 tax rewrite did not help that.
Let's go with disability. Disability is literally just a paycheck to people. Because they can't produce their own income. The freedom dividend, the universal basic income, is what he proposes is an opt-in program, which is basically you can keep your normal disability paycheck, and let's say you're getting $800 a month from that disability paycheck, you can just opt in to UBI and not do that disability paycheck and just get $1,000 a month.
And see,
and what that does is that, so in order for people to qualify for disability, you have to have your application and status and all that looked at by real people and continue to check up and see if you are still eligible for this disability status. However, if it's universal basic income, you cut out all of that middleman and all of those people that are reading and filing and sending back mail and all that stuff to try and determine who and who isn't qualified for these disability benefits. You take all that weight off and just go, U.S. citizen, here you go, $1,000.
See, that's all good in theory, but at the same time, the U.S. government is already currently undermanned in that type of thing, which is why we have a lot of the problems that we have.
Right.
Because we aren't spending the money on people to look at that. And when we do, and when people do vet that, we don't enforce it anyway.
So but you trim all that fat and just send people $1,000.
Or you could just pay for their social services and they just keep the money that they earn when they go to work.
It's actually cheaper to just give them $1,000 than try and keep them on disability.
I'm not saying that I'm saying that we need to rework everything.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're paying for something like universal health care, that automatically covers disability. That covers stuff like that. That's what the whole concept of it is for. I mean, looking at healthcare costs. Just looking at healthcare costs, disability in literally any other country costs 8 times less than what it does in the United States. Why? Because A, there are regulations on what people can do and can't do, but also B, the biggest problem is that no one understands exactly okay, well, people do understand it. I'm trying to get my thought process out here and I'm not doing a good job of it. The big underlying issue is will universal healthcare cover the big expenses like disability? And that's kind of one of those things that if you have universal healthcare, then you don't have to worry about having to get a universal paycheck or anything like that, or disability check, because guess what? You're already covered under the insurance program that's under the federal government.
¿Por qué no los dos?
I don't speak Spanish, bro.
Why not both?
Because there's going to be, I'm not fully a socialist. I just don't believe where I see the benefit in doing a cost benefit analysis. I don't see the immediate benefit of where we need a universal salary. I mean, giving people a universal salary to a certain extent, doesn't really help them out. It just throws money at a recurring problem. And
I beg to differ. Continue.
It defeats the whole purpose of going to work. It defeats the whole purpose of working to a certain extent. I mean, sure, I
have a second point. Go ahead.
You do. I mean, I don't, and this is just me personally, I just don't see where it makes a lot of sense. And I've seen all the Andrew Yang spiel. I've listened to a good majority of his debates. He's a good debater, and I would love him in a secretary position. I think that's where he would be the most useful, if he was like Secretary of Housing and Urban Development or something like that.
So,
which I'm pretty sure he's already been in that position.
One, UBI doesn't take away the value of work, because $12,000 a year is below the poverty line. You cannot live. You can't really live with $12,000 a year.
But so at the same time,
you can't just be like a basement dweller with $12,000 a year.
No, but I mean, it's a waste of money. It really is. I mean, $12,000 a year, $12,000 times 300, nearly 400 million people.
He's done the math.
I mean, it doesn't work.
He's done the math.
I know he has. But I mean, at the end of the day, that it's $3.6 trillion that, had we just invested in a healthcare program, or had we just invested in a proper education program, which, by the way, only costs $890 billion to send every person to college free and clear. Yeah, that's also a number that he ran too.
Hold on. I think that not everyone needs to go to college.
Well, no, not everyone needs to go to college. But if we were to take the number that is there right now, the current cost of what it sends to send every person to every child to college that is going to college currently, we could cover it for roughly $900 billion.
Right. No, that's fine. But I'm just saying, not everyone needs to go to college. I think that the focus on public education is,
which
is good.
Yeah, I like it.
I think that the focus on public education is much greater than it needs to be. I do still think that college should be free, but we also need to acknowledge the value that it actually provides.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those things where it's all well and good to say that we're going to throw money at a situation. It's all well and good to say, oh, well, we're going to universal income or Medicare for all or free education for all. What exactly are we getting from the benefit of that? And that's just kind of one of those things that I just don't see.
Okay,
it's one of those things. It's like how we do it is just as important as what we are doing. I mean, it's
definitely.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm trying to say it and I just lost it again. Hi, I'm William, and this is my TED Talk. It's one of those things, and this is something that I have to tell people every time that I go out for a campaign rally or every time that I go out for something like that, because in addition to doing this, I'm also president of College Dems at UCO.
Mm-hmm.
You're not aiming for...
come to one of your meetings and just be a Yang troll.
Well, I mean, we don't really talk about issues because that's not our job.
Mm.
We talk about building and investing in rather than like talking about issues, because people are beat over the head with issues enough as it is.
I'm still going to do it though. I'm not, but it would be fun.
It's not overly large government, but it's affordable, right government for the right instance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, when you look at policy and when you're looking at plans, it takes roughly 2 or 4 years for that type of stuff to implement. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why it took so long for the New Deal effects to kick into place when the New Deal was passed.
Right.
Was because it was literally passing policy and trying to figure out what worked. And if it didn't work, it got cut and something else was put in its place that worked better.
Yeah.
And that's something that people don't understand, is that when you're looking at policy and when you're looking at economic trend, like example, 2016 when Trump got elected and the economy was roaring. The economy was doing pretty well. I mean, it wasn't doing well for middle-class people because middle-class people weren't getting share in the investments, but different story for a different time. in terms of the numbers, the economy was doing well. That wasn't because Donald Trump sat down and said, okay, we're going to do this, and this. That's because Barack Obama beforehand had already said, we're going to do this, and this 2 to 4 years earlier. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, honestly, there are too many candidates.
Yes.
There are too many candidates, and there aren't enough of them that have policies, that have interesting theories, and have interesting, and have, again, run numbers, and have said, you know what, this is a cool idea. This is something that we can do. It's just one of those things. I don't think it's going to turn out as we all expect it in execution, and why I would rather just have the benefit of a universal social service rather than a universal income. Because I know if I had a universal income, especially as a college student right now, who, I'm going to be real quite honest, I mean, I have Oklahoma's Promise that helps cover my tuition. That's the only reason I go to school. But, I mean, $12,000 a year? $12,000 a year would more than knock out all of my expenses, and I could live off campus. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah.
Cool. And you can do that.
It's just one of those things. I would have no other incentive other than to do what I would do. I know that for a fact. I know I would. I mean,
okay, you can do that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't know why I'm even talking about this to a certain extent. Like, it just kind of led here.
Right. Well,
yikes.
So the
voices.
I like this because
voices.
and that's so you can do that. You're free to do so.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Not everyone wants to do that. No. I'm not the type of person who can just not do anything.
I'm not either.
And so even if I had, like, you know, if I was just chilling on $100,000 a year without having to work, I would still work. I would still do something. Which it would be nice if I had $100,000 a year, but
that'd be awesome right now.
It would be nice.
Don't even get me started on that.
Right.
But I mean,
okay, so even what you're just saying right now. So, all this extra money would help a lot. And if you had a current job and then you add $1,000 a month to that, you can do $1,000 more. And that,
yeah, but at the same time, I'm not getting any of my economic instance. I'm not getting this. The situation that I'm in right now would not improve in a lot of ways. It would still be, for the most part, the same. For me. And if I were to go through and invest that $1,000 a month and say, okay, well, let's take that $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year, let's invest it with other people's money into an education program that just covered the cost. You wouldn't have to even spend money on the program.
You can also do that.
Yeah, I mean, it just it just seems like a simpler way of doing it, and I just don't see the point where universal income is gonna. It's not gonna. It's a temporary solution for a long-term fix.
It's a long-term solution for a very fast need. So,
and see, I don't see it that way, but I mean, that's just a difference of opinion.
Right. Well, consider. I'll use the example of food stamps because that's another social program. Food stamps. I don't know if you've ever been on food stamps or how that works.
I'm not going to respond to that.
Right. That's fine. I think I think the social connotation of I'm poor is dumb. I've been poor. I'm not going to deny it.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I honestly don't know if I have or not.
Right.
In certain instances. Because I know that I'm pretty sure that certain sides of my family haven't, because my family's divorced. But I'm also sure that some sides of the family have been. So I don't know if my family as a whole has or hasn't been. Right. It's just kind of one of those things where it's just like, eh.
So food stamps is like a card that they give you that only certain things are eligible to be paid for with this money.
Yeah.
But it's extra money that you wouldn't have had otherwise through, like, your job or whatever. And so you have this extra money that you can only spend on certain kinds of foods. You can just cut out the middleman, just hand people money. But through that EBT program, they're like, well, we don't trust you with this extra money that we're giving you, so we're gonna only let you spend it on this, as opposed to you could just hand people money and they'll actually do with it.
And it's just,
Then they'll actually just buy the food that they were going to buy anyways. You cut out that middleman.
yeah,
You don't
but
need
that's
to
an
like.
assumption that they're going to do that. I mean,
You can
I don't
also
mean to
like.
sound,
You can
I don't-
also smoke crack.
yeah. I mean, God, it sounds so conservative of me to defend this side, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's kind of like, I see where it can go.
Mm-hmm.
I see that could be something that is enticing. I don't see where that is a long-term solution. It's just throwing money at a problem that's only going to escalate. Because you want to know what's going to happen when we send out $1,000 a month to people as the government without any sort of check or
A
any
huge economic boom because people are going to invest in small businesses
a
and
huge economic boom that's going to last for about 5 years, and then companies are going to adjust. Corporations are going to find loopholes, and things are going to change, and expenses are going to continue to go up because they're going to calculate, and they're going to say, oh, well, A, we don't have to raise worker wages because guess what? The government's providing a universal income, guys. We can, in fact, lower our wages.
cool. If you're doing all right at your job with UBI and then your job decides to lower your wage, start looking for another job.
That's all and good to say, but at the same time, it's just that's not going to be feasible in the long term. Not only would companies probably start lowering jobs, prices of goods would go up. I mean, that's kind of the thing that we kind of see.
The
every
moment
time.
that one store goes, all right, single orange is $10 now, but the other store it's gonna be like, nope, oranges is still $1.
That's not going to happen. Competition is,
all marketplaces are going to maintain the same, are going to
They're going to
skyrocket
maintain-
prices at the
they're
same
going to
time
maintain competitive
just
prices because otherwise they're going to go out of business. I mean,
competitive in what way? They're all making the same amount of money. You
No,
just
they're not.
added $1,000 to the
they're
to
not
the
all
equation.
making the same amount of money.
Well, no. They're all making the same amount of money that they would have been beforehand.
But what I'm saying is that the corporate mind is going to adjust. It's going to adapt to that. It's going to change and say, okay, well, the government's providing this extra $1,000. Okay.
Mhm.
We are going to, as let's just say gasoline. Gasoline companies are going to say, okay, well, they've got this extra $1,000. We're going to raise the price of gasoline by $1.50,
Mm-hmm.
which would, right now in Oklahoma, it's like $2.09. They'd bump it up to like $3.50, back to what it was in 2009, 2010-ish, I think.
Mhm.
I mean, that's you go from all of a sudden paying $20 to $50
Mm-hmm.
for a tank of gas. Imagine what that's going to do to the trucking industry, where diesel is already $1.50 to $2 more
The
expensive.
trucking industry is going to automate all those jobs away, anyways.
No, they probably won't. Automation isn't something that's going to be feasible for technology. Why do you think Tesla had to recall most of their self-driving cars?
The Teslas still drive themselves.
They had to recall those, and even then, they still are under heavy scrutiny and heavy investigation because they get into wrecks. Because they, I mean, granted, they don't.
So you're just assuming that technological progress isn't going to happen?
I'm saying
We're just
that there's
gonna
always
make
going to be a
any
need.
sort of automation is just not going to happen in the future?
Self-checkout is a perfectly good example for that. I mean, yeah, bigger industries are putting in self-checkout lines, but at the same time, they hire cashiers. Why is that?
Because they need to
Because
transition everyone.
Because people need jobs. People need jobs. Economies need jobs to survive. Now, I'm not saying that couldn't happen. It could very well happen, but the chances of it happen aren't as big as what everyone thinks. The trucking industry isn't going to go The trucking industry is 100% not going to go automated. I mean, Tesla just filed blueprints to have an electric powered semi truck. They actually have done way more than that. They just announced it. They just filed patents for blueprints for an electric pickup. That's my bad.
Right.
It's one of those things where it's looking at it and it's just like, I get what you guys are saying on automation, and I get what you guys are saying on universal income. It's just like, that is not anywhere close to happening, and it's just not a priority to me, at least.
Sure.
You know what
But
is a priority?
you're not
You know what is a
someone-
priority to me though?
What?
Would be really cool to see? Electric charge stations. Oh my god! I was at Whole Foods the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They have them.
I know they have them, and it's just looking at that, and it's like, you know, the only reason that electric vehicles aren't like a mainstream thing is because the infrastructure isn't in the rural areas.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be something I'd like to see with that money. Let's take that money and invest it in that.
Or you can let the private industries such as
Or
Tesla
I could just create a government subsidy and say, hey, businesses, we're going to cut this much off of your taxes to go and do this, or we're going to help you out with the cost of this so that you can go build this. That's the whole point of incentivizing.
can do that as well. Yeah.
Ah!
You can do that as well.
Yeah.
But it's why
Sorry,
not?
I love talking about
Why
this
not
type
at
of
all?
stuff. It's
But-
kind of one of those things. It's like,
I think that, and we're gonna wrap up here soon.
yeah,
but
no,
like,
you're good. I figured it was. We talked about like an hour now.
right. But I think that you yourself were talking about how, corporations are going to be greedy, money minded, and they're going to, raise their prices or whatever.
They have been. They always have been. Nothing's going to change.
All right. Then what is stopping corporations from being greedy, grubby minded, and automating away all those jobs?
Because at the end of the day, the automation isn't going to do. The automation is going to help with that, and you've seen that to a certain extent. There aren't as many cashiers as Walmart. They're starting to look into that type of things where they're saying, "Hey, we can just apply this type of machine to do this type of job." But I mean, at the same time, you can't. Robot technology or artificial intelligence or whatever we're calling it, self-driving, whatever. I mean, it's the same reason why we don't have teleporters and float and hover cars and
Sure.
laser rifles
Yeah.
and starships. I mean,
I'm. It's a sarcastic
yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't think that there's much of an interest there, with the exception of Facebook, because Mark Zuckerberg's a robot.
Clearly.
Yeah. But at the same time, they know that would piss off a lot of people because people care. And this is something that people don't ever understand about the industry and how businesses work and how communications work, which is why I'm in the communication field, is that you can have the best product in the world, but if you're the worst salesman, or you're the worst people to your salespeople, or the worst people to your business or whatever, people are just going to go somewhere else.
Sure.
That's what's happening with Walmart. Yeah, Walmart's still one of the biggest retailers, and Walmart's still making a shit ton of money. But especially here in Oklahoma, the only people who shop at Walmart are lower class and below. I mean, that's not me like being racist or saying anything stereotypical. That's just what
No,
happens.
that's just true.
It is. I mean, when you look at especially here in Edmond, I mean, there's the neighborhood market Walmart, and there's Super Target, and then there's the big Walmart all the way out there because Edmond didn't want the Super Target Walmart or the Super Walmart in the city.
Sure.
They're like, hey, put it out by the highway. They fought vigorously against the one that they were going to put even further north up here. I mean, it's just one of those things where the reason that they fought that was because the people didn't like it. That's something that people need to take into consideration, because public opinion definitely matters. And that's why that hasn't automated yet, because they know, and especially for the trucking industry, they know that there are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of truckers that do nothing but drive every single day.
Yep.
They know that if they automate those jobs, that industry is going to have a fucking riot.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, yeah, you're going to put people out of jobs. And when those people don't have money, I mean, this is kind of the same instance with what the coal industry did. It's similar. It's not quite the same, but it's similar. The coal industry in Pennsylvania, in West Virginia, in Vermont, where the coal industry hired all of these workers, technology came in. Technology made things easier for the mines to work, and technology made the mines somewhat irrelevant. So they either closed or dried up, or they just let go of their workforce. And those people couldn't find jobs anywhere else because they didn't have any sort of other certificate or any other type of training. They didn't go to any higher education, because there's this perceived notion that you have to have higher education to go do something that you're good at doing, and that you can prove that you're good at doing. And those people, those communities are dirt poor. I mean, those are the communities that voted hardline Donald Trump. And it all played into that notion that these people are desperate. These people have been neglected for so long now that they are now looking at completely radical ideas that wouldn't have crossed into their minds beforehand.
Wouldn't it have been nice to have had $1,000 a month whenever you got laid off from your coal job or your factory job to be able to transition onto something else?
And see, that's what we're not. They didn't transition. There was no
because there was nothing in place to help them.
Because there was nothing else. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the life. This is the biggest fear that I have for Oklahoma, because the oil industry is the biggest lifeline for Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, it's gonna explode.
What happens when the oil industry goes? Because the oil industry is going to go in 20 to 30 years, and no one is acknowledging that.
No one cares.
Exactly.
Money right now.
We are going to dry up. We're going to.
Yeah.
We're all going to either move away. We're all going to. Or we're all just going to stay here because we have no money to move. We have no money to do this, that, or the other. And $1,000 a month isn't going to do jack shit for a family of 4 whose income.
It'll do more than nothing.
Saying it'll be more than nothing is like saying a breadcrumb is more than nothing to a homeless person, or saying that a cardboard box is better than nothing. That's not a long-term solution.
I disagree with the analogy there, but
it's whatever, man. I know you. We probably need to wrap this up. We've been going.
I feel like you've been making my point in some of your points, anyways. So
I feel like you've been making my point in some of yours. Hey, and there's no reason why they can't coexist.
Right, and that's why this is a fun conversation.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I don't even know if you heard me on that.
Yeah. In all of our disagreements here, we're like, yeah, but this, and then we're like slowly shaping.
We're doing what politicians should do. Yeah,
we're going through this conversation. We're slowly shaping a little bit closer as to what might work, what might not work, and we're conversation.
Yep,
that's the point. And I don't hate you or anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
This is fun. This is great.
This is uncomfortability is something that makes you grow and it makes you learn. And
hell yeah.
I mean, and I'm probably going to go home and do more Andrew Yang reading because
hell yeah.
I mean, it's just something to read, and it's something that genuinely makes me curious.
Right.
So
I'm not going to do any Joe Biden reading.
That's
Fuck
just
that, man.
Rude.
I'm just being real honest with you. Joe Biden is just not great. Neither is Kamala Harris. Sorry.
I don't like Kamala Harris either. I'm not a big Kamala Harris person.
Tulsi Gabbard, pretty good. Pretty cool.
She's
Pete Buttigieg, pretty good. Andrew Yang Light is basically, I think people that support Pete Buttigieg think mayonnaise is spicy. So
I do think mayonnaise is spicy at times. I don't like mayonnaise.
That is just implying that is very bland taste.
Sorry, I'm totally playing for your mind.
Anyways, yeah. Anyways, this is good. Have more of these discussions, not just you and I, but everyone with everyone.
Yeah,
because this is how we determine how to think for ourselves.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. Oh my God.
Plug your shit.
If you guys don't know who I am, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to do something. My name is William Pope. I'm
not going to edit anything.
Oh, well, there you go. Yikes. Help. My name is William Pope. I am a content creator. I am local here in Oklahoma City. I'm the president of College Democrats at UCO. I manage a podcast called Open Broadcast that specializes in communication and specializes in how we communicate through social media and through the modern world, and how we've kind of lost that.
Yeah.
And how conversations like the one that we're having right now really plays into the modern world, and it teaches people how to like each other again. And it teaches people how to respect each other again, because uncomfortability makes you grow.
Sweet. Yeah. And I was on that podcast, so
give it a check out. Episode comes out here in the next couple of weeks.
Sweet.
Boys.
Yeah. Although depending on when this episode comes out, they might like run into
listen to them both.
Just check out them both. Open Broadcast. It's great.
Check out Bit Depth. I'm pretty sure it's also great.
Well, thank you.
See.
Will, thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, man.
I'm Santiago Ramones.
I'm William Pope.
You can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. I make music. Go to santiagoramones.com/podcast/machinations. Look at and listen to all of the work that I put into my master's recital. There's some cool stuff in there. Machinations is like Black Mirror, but with music, exploring ideas and technology and the future through music and lyrics. It's a lot of cool stuff, and I'm very happy with it. You can also find this podcast on all of the things, leave reviews, comments. You can now support the podcast through anchor.fm/Santiago Ramones, and you can subscribe and give $1 a month if you want, because it's hard enough to like try and schedule these things and make these things happen. So
you're right there.
or having an audio interface with one dead preamp. So little things help,
You should totally do that on mine too. I mean,
Yes, you can also do that on Open Broadcast.
Anchor is the best thing ever, dude.
Anchor's I just switched to it, and I'm like, this is a lot easier than manually doing it and
it's so
distributing it
easy.
to everything else. So you can support the podcast, our podcasts, through Anchor.
Do it, boys.
And it'll make sure that I continue to have the motivation to keep your ear entertainment going.
Yes.
I always have my podcast with my 3 things. They shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails, it's going to be okay, I might be wrong.